Hello guys, this is Paul with Norsk Prepper. My apologies for the wind noise. I'm out in the forest and it's quite windy at the moment, so just bear with me. Today we're going to talk about the difference between bugging in versus bugging out, minus all the romantic notions of how that actually looks. When you're bugging in, what you need to realize is that you're normally bugging in because the conditions outside are absolutely horrible. So whether it be war or natural disaster, infrastructure is now down. The ability to travel is extremely limited. So what does that mean practically for people who are staying indoors and bugging in? Well, it means first and foremost, it's very likely there's no power. And if there's no power, oftentimes there's going to be no water and either poor or no sanitation. So no flushing toilets, no showers, none of that kind of thing. On top of that, if it's a natural disaster or war, then you can just about guarantee that there's going to be damaged buildings. So the buildings are going to be in a state of disrepair. Now, oftentimes, if there's damaged buildings and lack of infrastructure, people will start to come together in order to support one another. So that means, oftentimes, it won't just be you in that location. It will be neighbours, family, pets. You'll have small children with you. It'll be cramped conditions. Poor sanitation, poor light, poor heat, if you're not prepared. On top of that, there's oftentimes restricted access to the outdoors. So if it's because of hostile military activity, if you go outside, you become a target. So if we look at Ukraine as an example right now, there are people that have been trapped inside for months. If they go out to get firewood to cook with or to keep warm, they get shot. So it's not a very romantic situation. The next thing then is also the inability then to cook indoors or keep warm. So oftentimes people can't have a fire inside, otherwise they start to suffocate from the smoke. So that's what it looks like bugging in. That's the reality of it. What about the reality of bugging out under hostile conditions? Well, it's not very romantic either. You're limited to what you can carry. You often only have minutes to grab and go. So whatever you can jam into a bag or whatever you already have prepared in a bag is what you're going to take with you. And you've got a decision that you need to make between the essentials and the valuables. What do you need to live? And what is it that makes life easier later on, such as money and gold and silver or whatever else people have squirreled away. Now, oftentimes when you have to leave really quickly and you've got to bug out, you don't have time to leave messages for loved ones and friends about where you've gone and what you've done. So that's the sad reality of it. If you're not prepared, you have no way of communicating with your friends and family, oftentimes because cell towers are down, internet is down, there's no electricity. Now, you also have to think about the adverse environmental conditions that are going on. It may be in pouring rain, it might be during a bushfire or a flood or something like that. So if you're not prepared, if you're not fit enough to bug out, you're going to be under a lot of stress, especially if you've got small children and pets that you're trying to take with you. If it's the case of war, you'll be bugging out under soldier's guard. And so you'll possibly have enemy forces that want to attack you, and you'll be basically guarded by friendly soldiers who are trying to get you out of town. Now, what I recommend to everyone, get onto BitChute and have a look at how life is in Ukraine at the moment for people who are either living in their cellars or being escorted out of the cities by military. You'll have a very, very good idea of what it is like for bugging in versus bugging out in a war zone. And for those who think, okay, well, war isn't realistic, let's have a look at natural disaster, I then recommend that you have a look at the floods in Australia and see what the situation is like for Australians. What you'll see is you're not going to be taking the safe with you. You're not going to be heading out like John Rambo with all your guns and kit and everything like that. You'll just be taking what you need and what you can basically swim with. So make sure that you have a good idea of what it's like to bug in versus bug out. And what I recommend for anyone who takes preparing seriously, be prepared for both eventualities. Don't just say, well, I'm going to bug in, so there's no point having the things that I need in a bag. Everyone should have a bag ready to roll. In it, you should have your sleeping bag, cooking utensils, toiletries to keep your teeth clean, keep yourself healthy, and communication devices to communicate with your group, and the ability to charge them, either solar panels or battery banks. Everyone should have the ability to put that together. It doesn't cost much to do. So my recommendation, make sure that you have both. Now, if you enjoyed this very short video, please consider following me on Facebook and also subscribing to the channel on YouTube. And if you disagree, that's perfectly fine. Put down why, and put down your recommendation in the comments section in YouTube. All right guys, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you all again later. Bye.